Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I am your podcast here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today, we have Tarek Aly, periodontal dental entrepreneur, a dental groups builder, and coach. Today, we're going to be talking about his business, his journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and of course, share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. Tarek, welcome and thank you for being here today. Please give us a
Thank
brief overview.
thank you for having me, Kay. It's a pleasure to be on your platform. My name is Tarek Ali. I used to be a periodontist in a previous life. I started out being a dentist and then a periodontist, and then I learned really quick that there is a lack of access to care, to dental care. There's tons and millions of people out there that are not getting the dental care they deserve. So I made it my life mission is to spread awareness of the dental care, but also help dentists improve on their quality of work and provide better service and also make money along the way so that they can grow and expand. I co own multiple dental locations, 92 dental locations to be exact. And I am also a coach.
That is incredible. And as we talked before the interview and kind of touched base, I was like, I appreciate so much dental care and the work that you're doing. I've had much dental care on my own as well. And so it's very appreciated. So I'd love to dive in, kind of to set the stage for our listeners today. Generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Are you like the sole founder or are there outside investors, anything like that?
So I have many businesses. Some of them I am a part owner, like a partner in dental locations and dental groups. And I have a coaching business that is the sole entrepreneur there. But I'm also involved in other businesses as well, educational platforms and dental organizations, support agencies or organizations. So, yes, multiple things here and there, and I still have time to sleep, enjoy life, travel, and I'm also a triplets dad. So there is time for all that, believe it or not.
That is incredible. Okay. Quick tip. What is one of your go-to strategies for wearing all the hats and being a dad?
Well, so one thing I learned is those who have a mission and a vision and they have it written down clear and focus on the mission and be consistent, you believe it or not, you will have the time to do all that. I realized that the definition of success is not necessarily material success or any other particular success that you can think of. It's a combination of all. It's the social life, it's the family life, it's the love life, it's the health and fitness, it's the spiritual life and the reasonable financial prosperity. So all this, you can do it all if you focus.
That's incredible advice. And that's so true. I feel like it's again, yeah, bringing it back to the mission. That's a really good tip. And so when you're looking at your role, kind of like using that question to jump off to the next one, how many hours would you say you spend working in your business, like on the job of it? And how many would you say in like on the business and the strategy, the planning of the business and things like that?
I spend about 10 hours a week of pure solid in the flow work, which means you're focused, you're attentive, and you're no distractions, zero cell phones, zero disruptions, about 10
Mm.
hours a week.
Wow. I think that's also very powerful that you said, cut out the distractions and make that, time blocks for the success. And so you're hyper focused, you're in flow, and there's no distractions.
Have you ever noticed that when you're in the zone, you could be super productive? You can do in 1 hour what most people do in 6 hours, or what you would even do if you're distracted in 6 hours. So if you are in the flow, in the zone for 1 hour, it's significantly more productive. And that's how you can actually strategize your calendar to be as productive as you can be.
Oh, that is so true. Do you ever consider too, like, do you have peak hours of your day, like for like best cognitive function for that? Do you like work it around your schedule that way too?
Yes, and it's actually in medicine. If you study physiology, it is advantageous to get your highest performing task, or the tasks that require you to be mentally sharp in the mornings. Your hormones are geared in the mornings. The It has to do with your sleeping patterns and also the sun, believe it or not. So science has proven that in the mornings you get significantly more done. And then there's been this debate whether you should work out in the morning or not, because if you work out, you may be losing some valuable focus time. So it's preferable to do the workouts in the evening or at night, where you're lack of focus and you're already tired and you want to get the benefits. But to as far as productivity, morning hours usually have been the winner for me.
That is powerful information too. I think it's very on that holistic approach to being an entrepreneur as well, because it is all the hats.
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, very cool. So I'd love to dive into, who do your businesses primarily serve? You have multiple businesses. So who's your audience in your businesses right now?
So the three main audience. One is the patient. We want to make sure that every single patient out there has access to care that is superior in quality and the lowest possible cost. How many people can't afford dental treatment? And we live in a first world country where the incomes are considerably higher than the rest of the world, and they still can't afford it. So dental treatment is expensive, it's not available. So the primary customer here, client or audience, is the patient. We want to spread awareness, make sure they understand their options. Two is the dentist, because if you don't have a focused dentist, a happy dentist, a successful dentist that has a holistic life with all the six factors we talked about, they are not able to serve any patient. Their Monday morning patient is going to be treated differently than the Friday afternoon patient, because fatigue is real. So,
Mhm.
focus on the provider will also produce a higher quality for the patient. And then the third audience is anyone that works in the dental industry. The team is the engine that runs the train. Without the engine, you have no train. You have a beautiful train that is going nowhere. So if you don't have a happy team, if you don't have a satisfied team, all their needs are met, again, the six factors we talked about, then you will not have a happy dentist and you will not have a happy patient. So it has to be all the triad.
Oh, that's really interesting too. I like how you describe that because like one of them, there's that ripple effect that and really will affect the other pillars. So this is very, very cool. What is one thing that you wish people knew more about your business?
And it is not just my business, but I wish people are more educated about the healthcare system and how to get access. It's definitely a sticky subject, and we've tried so many healthcare policies, and as you know, socialistic societies are different than capitalistic societies, than communistic societies, and they all impact the patient differently. And there's no right or wrong way of doing things, but if the patient is educated on how to get the treatment with the highest quality possible at the lowest cost possible, then we will have a better world. And how many people are shy or timid to smile, and that affects psychological behavior. That affects their interaction with others. They come off as standoffish because they are not smiling. So people will react accordingly, especially teenagers and kids, because you know how kids can be. They are bullies by nature. So
Oh,
if your 11-year-old cannot smile in the class, then most likely they will be bullied, or they will be isolated from social events, and which will impact their life forever. So
mm.
simple thing as, hey, a beautiful smile could boost your confidence. Just like your attire when you are going out, and if you're wearing an attire that you feel comfortable with, your confidence is going to be boosted. Same thing, a nice smile makes a huge difference.
Oh, it truly does. I'm so glad you said that. And I've seen that, witnessed that, experienced some of that as a kid. And that's so true. So that it's a really big confidence boost and it's for both like health and well-being as well as that inner health and well-being too, that inner soul.
Absolutely. And you know that 50% of Americans, or maybe in the 60% range now, only 60% of Americans go to the dentist.
Oh,
So there's a
wow.
huge segment, yes. And if you there's no solid world data, because it's hard to gather data, but the statistics that have been gathered so far shows that the rest of the world is within the 20 to 30% range. So
Oh,
only
wow.
20 to 30% of the world actually go to the dentist, which is huge. I feel like
Mm.
it's a mission to create awareness, like, hey, there are options. Go to the dentist, take care of your teeth. You can do stuff at home that makes a huge difference, but also that professional help will help you significantly. And all the dentists out there, the knowing the tools to deliver the highest quality of care at the lowest possible cost, and the tools to grow your business, because at the end of the day it is a business, even though you are serving the communities. But if you don't make money, you're not hiring the best team members, you're not
Mhm.
expanding the quality of care you have, you're not going to have a second location and a third location, and you're not going to do the free work that you want to do to the patients that can't afford it, and the charity stuff that you can do, you won't if you are not successful.
Mm, that's so powerful. And that really leads perfectly into my next topic, which is all about the marketing and, creating that awareness and getting things out there. So we know it's so vital for every business to do good marketing. So I'm always curious about what successful businesses are doing. So what percentage like of your monthly budget or monthly sales typically goes and is invested back into your marketing budget, would you say?
So it's different in different zip codes and different areas. So for example,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in competitive markets like New York or California, you're going to allocate significantly more budget because the competition is higher. And if you are in markets like Texas, you may allocate less. It depends on where you are. But if you're in Austin, you're going to allocate more than if you're in College Station or in Victoria, Texas, or West Texas. So it depends. But overall, coast to coast, you're looking at about 3 to 5% of total revenue can go to marketing. In
Mm-hmm.
bigger cities, you can be a little more. In smaller towns, you could be as low as 1%. But also,
Okay.
it's if you know the marketing model, which you're a pro in that, the awareness, interest, desire, action. You have to spread awareness of who you are and what do you do, so for them to even know that you exist. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have to create the desire. Okay, I know you exist, but I really need to go to understand what you offer. And then from the desire to the interest, okay, now I know what you're offering, I'm interested. And then the
Mm-hmm.
action, interest is not enough, I actually have to take action, pick up that phone and make the appointment and come see you. So the what we call the AIDA model, AIDA. So if you're in the awareness phase, your budget could be different than if you're in the converting patients or converting dentists to the desire phase of like, okay, I need to take action now.
Hmm. That's it powerful. I love a good acronym.
Yes. What's life but a bunch of acronyms, Kate?
Oh, it's so true. It's the only way we can remember things these days. Oh, so what would you say is like the number one marketing strategy that has brought you the most business?
So it's really not just one, because every market is different, and again, also every stage of that is different. If you're starting a new practice and you're doing the awareness campaign, you need some sort of mass marketing. You
Hmm.
need to spread the word as far as you can reach. But then in a different stage, you need to create you need to create the interest. So you're going to focus on one thing, like, hey, we are the best in town for this, or we accept all insurances. So you are focusing your focusing on a specific target after you spread the awareness. So there wasn't just one tool that was the golden ticket. I wish there was. Life would be easier, right? That would be like, oh yeah, just throw in 10 more thousand in that tool and we're great. But it depends on your stage, it depends on the audience, it depends on the a few things. So to answer your question, generally speaking, we do anywhere from mailers to billboards to sometimes in smaller markets we do TV ads, we do radio ads. We target different communities like Hispanic communities, so we go with Spanish speaking ads. Um, Pay per clicks and SEM, social, and SEO as well,
Hmm.
search engine optimization and search engine marketing. So a few things, but also the most effective usually has been if you are truly genuine about the message and if you truly deliver what you say you do. Everyone can say I'm the best, like, oh, I'm the best at this, like, yes, so as everyone else what they say, but do you deliver what you promise? Does the message truly speak to your core value, and do you stick to it, and do you follow through to make sure that all of your team members understand and deliver that message?
Oh, that is so powerful. I think that is such a wisdom nugget right there, just for any entrepreneurs listening to this and anybody, honestly. It's like kind of put your money where your mouth is and
Yeah.
kind of like I always go back to that myself. Oh, so that's really powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
We've spent some great time on the marketing. I would love to dive in and take a step back and talk about your journey a bit more. Why did you choose to go into the business of dentistry for yourself and as opposed for working for someone else? What was that transition like for you?
So it started off going to dentistry to begin with in the dental school. It started off with my parents. If and I grew up in Egypt, and if you know anything about Egyptian parents, you don't negotiate with them, right? They say you're going to be a doctor, you got to be a doctor. There's no negotiations. So I really didn't want to be a doctor to begin with. I wanted to go in business or be a pilot or something, but they pushed it. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna pick the shortest way to be a doctor. And going down the list, okay, pharmacy, no, not really. And then dentistry, okay, yeah, that's the shortest way. But then in school, when in the beginning the dryness of the theory part wasn't very fun, but the minute you start working on patients and making a difference in someone's life through the smile, that was an aha moment for me. That was the paradigm shift of like, hey, that's not just a career. You are making a difference in someone's life. And not
Mm,
just that, in dental school, they train you how to be an amazing dentist, but they have zero training on how to run a business. You have
mm-hmm,
no idea how to read a P&L. You have no idea how to do marketing. You have no idea how to handle HR. In fact, we worked without assistants, so we had no idea how to interact with another human while we're serving the patient.
mm-hmm,
So that skill and knowledge of running an enterprise or running a business was never there. So I thought, wow, there's a huge gap here. Yeah, I can be a great dentist, but I could be a jerk that doesn't know how to deal with humans. I could be poor businessman that all I know about accounting is like, oh, if I make this much and I spend this much, then the rest is my profit, right? Like most dentists think when they graduate. And all these business things, business development, IT, procurement, compliance, all these things are part of the core of running an enterprise, and you don't get taught any of this. So I thought, okay, well, you know what? I learned how to be a dentist and I became a periodontal surgeon. So I know how to do that. But then what's the next level here? So I started getting an MBA and a CVA and a bunch of other useless business degrees. They're not useless, I'm joking, but I professional student, and then I learned, okay, well, this is the next level up. And it was transformational for my career. I married that art of business with the art of healthcare
mm-hmm,
to impact, instead of impacting 10, 20 patients a day, impacting 2,000 patient a day or more.
mm-hmm. Wow, that is incredibly powerful. I really love how you found that gap, that niche that was really needed to be filled. Um, what is one thing like that really has impacted you, like a roadblock that you've had to face that within your career that you were forced to overcome, and how did you do it?
Oh, there's a bunch to mention too. One is dealing with humans, Kay.
Yes.
Dealing with humans is the most difficult thing. Everyone has different motives, have different personality types, different strengths and weaknesses. I had tons of weaknesses that I didn't know existed, and I had some strengths that I didn't know that existed. So coupling all that together and learning how to be an effective leader was a big challenge for me. And that's when I looked in the mirror and I said, you suck. Because I looked in the mirror and said, you suck, because I really didn't know how to handle that. And I started learning more, and it's a humbling experience until you realize that, hey, there is a science to dealing with people and maximizing the outcome that helps the goal at the end. by understanding how different personality types function. So that
Mm,
was one of the biggest issues. And also, the other big issue was funding. In the beginning, start of any business, you're bleeding cash. You don't know how you're going to survive the next month. You have mouths to feed. You have so many team members that rely on their paycheck, and some of them are single moms that work paycheck to paycheck and they need food on the table. So that was a motivation, like, we need to figure out how to make this profitable. It's not just about patient care. Patient care is number one, but it's also about being profitable so you can grow and hire the best team members and serve the communities the best you can.
that is very true too. That's another golden nugget. Like this has been such a great recording. I absolutely love just like hearing about this. Kind of moving like fast forward, what do you have planned for your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
Grow as much as we can to create awareness to all communities out there. It not just in the US but worldwide. I'm involved with many organizations worldwide, and the impact that we are creating is good, but it's not enough. We need to create more impact in a wider spread. So that's one. Also create the awareness for the dentist that, hey, you can have it all. It's okay to dream to have it all. That's fine. You can have the best quality of care you can ever provide at the lowest possible cost, the best trained team members that will be side by side with you pulling this train, and you can still be very profitable. And it's okay. It's not a bad word to make money. It's not a bad word. You can serve patients, serve the community, impact change, and make money. That's fine. No problem.
Hmm, that's so true too. How do you feel about when you're making goals for your business? Like these goals are setting into motions. What's been your best approach to goal setting?
So goals for me are mainly KPIs, key performance indicators, right? So in order to set a goal, you have to understand where you are right now. Let's say a weight loss journey. Well, you want to measure yourself now and then know what's ideal and make a plan to get there. Let's say running a marathon. Well, how many do you can you run now and then the marathon and see how you can get there. So first, track your KPIs, your key performance indicators. Make sure you're measuring the right key performance indicators. There's a reason why there's a K in key performance indicators. It's called key. You can measure 1,000 PIs, but if you don't know which ones to actually track that will make the impact, then it's not very useful. So step one, know where you are. Measure the key performance indicators. Step two, learn what the ideal scenario is, because you can set an unrealistic expectations. Like we can say today, hey, you know what? I want to go to the Olympics next month. There's no way. There's no way. It's an unrealistic expectation. So first, know where you are. Two, set a realistic expectation that you know it's achievable, an achievable target where you can have milestones that you can celebrate the wins. If you are, it's okay to pat yourself in the back on step one and step two and say, hey, you know what? I've done it. I'm moving on to step three. And then the final one is the feedback mechanism. Yes, you can create goals, and yes, they're achievable, and yes, you're tracking KPIs, but you're not following through to make sure that this goal is always sharp, always on the edge of achievable, and you're because otherwise you're just going to have an automated business that doesn't have any feedback, and eventually you'll stand behind in times. Everyone else is going to be catapulting while you're in
Mhm.
status quo.
Oh, for sure. And in business, it's so important to, develop that great team. And this is something like you mentioned earlier about, the importance of that team. How would you describe your leadership style in business and how has it changed over the years?
It changed significantly over the years since I sucked at leadership. I didn't know what I was doing, and I started to learn. One of the things that helped me significantly is understanding the different personality types and understanding how to create teams, because you can't put similar personality types in the same team. Someone's very analytical, someone's a fast starter, someone is the more detail oriented. You can't put fast starters together. They're going to be all right, super excited about the project, but no one's going to do the step two. Like, oh yeah, excited. What do we do now? So there's going to be the visionary. There's going to be the analytical person that's going to analyze it to death to make sure that it's going to be super impactful. And then there's going to be this organized note taker that makes sure that everybody stays on task. So knowing personality types and putting them in the right place where they can have the highest impact helped me a lot. And then empower your team. Don't be this hovering, breathing over your shoulder or over their shoulder type micromanager that watches every step. That's not empowering your team. That's actually uh, turning on the receptor of, like, you know what, he's over here watching every step, let him do it, this is too much. You have to empower them. If you want results, then they have to have the responsibility and the authority to create the results within certain
Mm.
guidelines, of course, because you have to maintain certain guidelines, but let the team do. And the best companies and organizations out there are the ones that have their team empowered. They set general guidelines, and this is by research, by the way. It's not someone's opinion, it's research. And at the end of the day, if the team know the guidelines, they're working on the mission, they have their eye on the ball, they have their eye on the mission, they have their SOPs or the standard operating procedures that they've created, that you helped create, then it's going to be an automated business. Everyone becomes happy.
Oh, that is incredible advice. We've covered so much ground in this conversation as we're kind of beginning to wrap up. I have a fun part of the conversation, our rapid fire questions. It's just quick, top of head answers to a few of our questions here, and then we'll finalize with our last question. So, you
Oh
ready for
boy,
some rapid fire? Awesome.
ready for some rapid fire.
All right. So, what is the key to success for you?
Ooh, good one. I think number one, focus on the mission. Number two, consistency. Number three, building systems and sticking to them. Four, care about and empower your team. And five, listen to your client or audience or patient or whoever it is.
I'm going to jot those down for sure. What is one piece of advice for other business owners that you have?
Realize that you are defective and don't let your ego get in the way. We all need help. It's okay to be defective in one thing or another, but what's not okay is staying in that lane. So it's completely fine that we don't know. Let's go ahead and learn.
Yes. What is one book, piece of content, podcast, something that you are reading right now or have taken in right now that's important to you?
So it's not necessarily right now, but there's an amazing book that I would like to share with everyone. It's called The Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande, and it's talking about this, how important the systems and processes and checklists are. It was very impactful in my life. Also, the one by Simon Sinek, I forgot what's it called. I think it's called Start with Why. Start
Mm.
with Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. That book is fantastic because it tells you that those who focus on the mission usually achieve the best.
Ah, so good. I wrote some of those down. If you had, this is our final rapid fire question. If you had to choose only one area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Spreading awareness to every soul out there about healthcare and dental care specifically. You also can have an amazing smile if you choose to look for the route. I would love to enhance that part so I can affect or impact as many people as I possibly can.
And with spreading awareness, that leads me to how can people learn more about you and your company? Can they contact you online, social media?
Yes, my social media is public. You can find me. Just Google my name, Tarek Aly Dental, or whatever it is, because there's a few Tarek Alys out there. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm available. Please, if you need hand holding, if you need to chat about your business idea, if you need to enhance, or if you feel like I can learn a ton from something that you've done, please let me know. I would love to learn with you.
Oh, this has been incredible. And now we're here to our final question. Tarek, what is the most inspiring to you today?
Today was spending time with you and brainstorming this and learning It has been fantastic. I really appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and I appreciate being on your awesome platform today.
Thank you so much. And likewise, this has been such a great conversation filled with golden nuggets. So thank you so much, Tarek, for being with me on the show today.
Thank you, Kay. Have a fantastic rest of your day.